Hi guys, so today we're going to be talking about some of the modifications I've done to my Spyderco Paramilitary 2. These were all pretty simple modifications, stuff you can do at home, which is exactly what I did. And in the future I'll be putting out a video explaining exactly all of the steps to do this, to any knife really. I mean, you could do this to really just about any knife, it's just a little bit of a different process. But this is what I've done to my Spyderco. So if you take a look here at the blade, and the knife open. Some of them are a little bit more obvious than the others. The number one modification that I did obviously here is the acid etch, and you could see the blade is nice and dark on both sides. It's a little bit dirty right now, but it is a very even coating. It kind of gives a little bit more rust resistance. And you could still see the Spyderco logo as well as all the lettering and stuff on there. Pretty clean. I think it looks really nice. I also did acid etch just to kind of get the shine off of all of these screws and the liners, so it just looks a little bit darker, which is nice. So kind of everything matches, which is nice. It's kind of what I was going for here. Okay, so closing that up. The other main big mod that I did to this, I added a Flytanium backspacer here. I just like the way it looks a little bit more than the open design, like I don't know, the Isham. I just like the backspacer. I just think it looks a little bit better than kind of that open design. Granted, it is a little bit more difficult to clean. And you can see here, again, that's from Blades We Love. The screws were from Blades We Love, I should say. I did replace the screws as well. That way I had a backup pair. I actually lost one of the pocket clip screws. But the backspacer is from Flytanium, and I'll link that both of these things in the description. Another one of the modifications I did to this guy right here is I crowned the spine. So crowning the spine is just kind of rounding it. It's going to be a little bit hard to pick up on camera here, but let me kind of get that in focus. It's rounded, which is something that tends to be done on higher end knives. For some reason, it's just a step that I guess a lot of the more affordable manufacturers kind of skip over. Some of Spyderco's more expensive stuff is crowned, but the Paramilitary is not. You can see most knives look more like this, where they're kind of flat on the edges. I think the flat looks good on this knife, frankly, but on the Spyderco Paramilitary 2, I think that it looks better crowned. And I haven't really seen anybody else do that to this specific knife. And again, I'll go into detail explaining exactly what I did to get this to be as crowned as it is. There are some edges I didn't do, like the inside of the Spidey hole. Makes it a little easier to open if you don't do that there. And some knives, they actually even leave it sharp for like striking steel. But honestly, I'm not trying to go out and survive with this knife, but this is sharp enough that it could cut you if you kind of pull hard enough. Next on the list here, I added a sharpening choil. So that sharpening choil right there just gives you a little bit more room to sharpen, so the full blade is sharpened. I actually think it looks a little bit better too, like this. But yeah, gives a little bit more room for sharpening so the entire blade can be sharpened. So yeah. Closing that up. I did also add a lanyard and a bead. This lanyard doesn't really serve a functional purpose. I just think it looks kind of nice. And the bead is just a titanium bead that I got off of Amazon. You can really pick any bead as long as it's wide enough to hold 2 strands of paracord. And you can see here I did just a couple snake knots on the end there. And again, I'll go into detail explaining everything that I did. I also did the pocket clip. Now, one of the things that a lot of people will do with an acid etched blade, they'll do what's called an acid stonewash. So a stonewash blade is going to look more like this guy right here. And you can see here, it's not shiny really, it's kind of got almost like it's been beat up a little bit. And that just kind of hides scratches. You can do the same kind of finish to this. I chose not to. I actually kind of want it to scratch up. I think it's going to end up looking nicer over time. It is a pretty strong coating, but even a couple days in, I rock climb, so the all of the hardware is going to get a little scuffed up while I'm climbing with it. But even on the pocket clip here, you could start seeing a couple little scratches there, which is fine. You can see it right there. Again, that's kind of the look I was going for with this guy, so that's perfectly fine with me. But yeah, that's what I did to my Spyderco. There's a bunch of different mods you can do to yours. You can actually buy different scales for it, all different hardware. There are different backspacers. You could get a brass one. This one's titanium. You can even get different colored screws. You can get a plug for your lanyard hole if you don't want to have a lanyard. Yeah, and you can obviously get different pocket clips. So if you want a deep carry pocket clip, I don't mind this at all. So yeah, if you want to know exactly all of the steps to do this, just look on the channel. There should be a video going up soon, kind of showing exactly what to do to make your knife look like this. But like I said, there's other steps you could do past that that can kind of make it look a little bit better. It really depends on what you think looks good in a knife. So yeah, that's pretty much it though. And one thing I should add at the end here, doing this will void your Spyderco warranty. If you do decide to do this to like the blade, or if you kind of modify it in any way, it will void Spyderco's warranty, so you won't be able to kind of cash in on that warranty if you do break your knife. And you do want to be pretty careful doing this because you can mess up the knife pretty bad if you're not careful. But you can see here, this one's in perfectly functional order. I wish I could show that a little bit better on camera, but it's very smooth. Everything opens perfectly fine. So yeah, again, just look on the channel. There will be a couple more videos coming out with some more reviews. I think next up is going to be this guy right here, the Kaiser. As far as reviews go, the Kaiser Zugang, and then after that, a couple more knives that I'm going to be putting up on the channel. But yeah, look forward to the next video and you'll see exactly how to do this to your knife. Have a good one, guys. So we're a new channel. If anybody wants to see any more of stuff like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and we'll get you some new videos, some new content. It's completely free to subscribe, and of course you can change your mind at any time if you decide you hate us for whatever reason. But I don't think that's gonna happen. So we have some cool stuff coming up. We got some cool pens. We've got plenty of knives for you to look at. Some knife candy, if you will. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.